Her clipboard hit the balloon arch like a gunshot, confetti burst, and my pregnant wife stumbled backward. That's how it started, the HOA president storming into our backyard screaming about unauthorized events and violations, then shoving my wife in front of 12 stunned guests. What happened next turned our quiet baby shower into a county-level investigation that shut down an entire HOA building. My name's Ethan Ward. I've served in combat zones, patched up soldiers under fire, and seen men break under pressure, but nothing prepared me for suburban warfare. Grace, my wife, had been on bed rest for months after a complicated pregnancy. The baby shower was supposed to be her first day out, a few close friends, some pastel decorations, nothing fancy. But peace, I learned that day, only exists until someone like Marlene Gibbs, our HOA president, decides she owns it. She marched through our gate waving her clipboard like a weapon. Section 12B, Unauthorized Event, she yelled, tearing down the blue wreath Grace made by hand. Grace flinched, holding her belly, whispering, "Please stop." Marlene didn't. She yanked the wreath down and shoved past her. The laughter died, the music cut off, and every eye turned to me. I stepped between them and said, "You just crossed my property line, and there's a camera watching." The smirk on her face faltered. For the first time I saw something flicker fear. She muttered about non-compliance and stormed off, but the damage was done. Grace's wrist was bruised, the wreath crushed in the dirt, and our guests just stood there in disbelief. That night I sat beside Grace, who stared at her untouched cup of tea. Her voice trembled. She just wanted to humiliate us. I nodded, already documenting everything: photos, timestamps, camera angles. Years of military training had taught me that evidence saves lives. By morning our mailbox was stuffed with violation notices, 3, all stamped in red: unauthorized event, non-compliant structure, pending fine. The structure was a rented tent for shade, $1,500. I held the papers jaw tight. On the surface they were just forms, but in an HOA like this, paper was a weapon sharper than any blade. Grace tried to be strong, but every time she saw that wreath her hands shook. And when I saw the bruise on her arm, I felt something inside me snap. That night I combed through every HOA bylaw, every section Marlene had cited. None of them existed. She was fabricating codes, manufacturing authority. And it worked. She'd been doing it for years, fining people for bird feeders, porch lights, wind chimes. But she picked the wrong man this time. The next day I met Alan Decker, the HOA's maintenance contractor. He looked nervous, fidgeting with his clipboard. "She's making me file reports on your fence, your lights. Things she knows aren't violations," he said. "She wants a record. A record for what I asked." He looked around, lowered his voice. "To make you look like a repeat offender. I don't want to be part of it, but I need this job. HOA pays for my housing." Before I could respond, his radio crackled Marlene's voice. "Alan's status report. Don't linger." Even unseen, she was watching. That night, Marlene posted a fake incident summary on the neighborhood WhatsApp group, calling Grace uncooperative during inspection. The comments poured in: neighbors too afraid to defend us. That's when I realized her real tactic wasn't rules, it was fear. So I posted one photo the moment her hand struck my wife. No caption, just truth. By morning, everything changed. The clip spread fast. Some thanked me privately, others stayed silent. But silence no longer protected her. My brother Nathan, a SWAT officer, called me. "You're not fighting a neighbor," he said. "You're fighting a civil bully with a system behind her. Document everything. We'll make sure it doesn't stay in HOA hands." Then came the avalanche, more violation packets, thicker each time. Unapproved lighting, security device violation. She was trying to bury us in paperwork. Grace broke down once, saying, "She's trying to make us quit." I held her hand. "She doesn't understand I don't quit." Around that time, Alan called again. His voice was shaking. "She's making me delete inspection logs. She says there's an audit coming." I asked if he kept copies. He hesitated. "Maybe. On my drive. But if she finds out—" "She won't," I said. "And when the sheriff sees it, neither will she." For the first time, he looked me in the eye. "You really think we can stop her?" "I don't think," I said. I know. That night his porch light flickered 3 times, a silent signal. He was in. Days later I walked into the HOA office unannounced. Marlene and her vice president Donna Reed were sipping coffee behind the counter. "Mr. Ward," Marlene said, fake smile in place, "you're not scheduled for an appointment." "Neither was your assault," I replied. Her hand twitched on the clipboard. "If you feel harassed," she said coolly, "you may file an appeal, though it likely won't succeed." "Noted," I said, "but when the county sees your falsified citations, you'll have bigger problems." Her mask cracked just a flicker, but enough. I left knowing she was losing control. That night Alan texted, "She's purging digital files tonight." The next morning I went straight to the sheriff's office. I brought the camera footage, timestamps, and copies of Alan's maintenance logs. The deputy watched the video twice, Marlene's hand on Grace's arm, the shove, the fall. When the clip ended, he said quietly, "You'll want to file this as a criminal complaint. That's assault, and with a pregnancy involved, it's aggravated." It wasn't just paperwork anymore, it was a crime. Over the next days, the pressure mounted. Marlene's Lexus started idling outside our house. She sent a final warning letter threatening legal action for defamatory communication. It was laughable, but desperate. My brother called again. "You've got enough for probable cause. Don't engage. Let the county handle it." I tried. I really did. But then Alan called at dawn. She knows I talked. She's deleting the main server tonight. Wants to move the hard drives to her husband's storage unit. His hands trembled as he handed me a USB drive wrapped in masking tape. I copied everything before she found out: emails, deleted citations, her reimbursement files. It proves she's been stealing HOA funds. I took the drive, feeling its weight. "Alan, this could end her career." He shook his head. "I just want my life back. I can't live like this anymore." He hesitated, then confessed, voice breaking. "I was the one who locked your gate that day. She told me it was for safety compliance. I didn't know she planned to confront your wife." When I saw her push her, I froze. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Rain pattered against the tin roof. Finally I said, "Then make it right. Testify. They'll protect you under whistleblower law." He exhaled, shoulders shaking. "You think they'll protect someone like me?" "I'll make sure they do," I said. "That's a promise." That evening the storm hit hard. I drove to the sheriff's office with the USB in my pocket. Deputy Morales plugged it in, eyes narrowing as the data loaded falsified records, fake reimbursements, HOA funds routed to a private account. "You've done half our job for us," he said. Minutes later he returned with news. The prosecutor approved a warrant. "We're executing tonight." I called Nathan. "It's happening," I said. "SWAT's assisting the county," he confirmed. "We'll seal the building before she can move anything. Stay out of it." But I couldn't. I parked down the street from the HOA office, watching through rain-streaked glass as Marlene paced inside, shoving boxes into her car. Then came the glow, red and blue lights sliding across the wet pavement. The sheriff's convoy rolled in, silent and steady. Morales stepped out first, warrant in hand. Marlene froze mid-motion, dropped her phone, and shouted something I couldn't hear. Officers surrounded her car, collected the boxes, sealed the door. She tried to argue, but no one listened. Her voice, the one that once ruled this neighborhood, was drowned by the hum of police radios. I didn't film it. I didn't cheer. I just sat there watching as her power evaporated under fluorescent lights. When Morales gave the signal and the building was taped off, I finally exhaled. For the first time since that baby shower, I felt the neighborhood breathe again. The next morning, news vans lined the street. Neighbors stood on their lawns, whispering, some shocked, some relieved. Grace stood by the window, one hand on her belly. "I never thought I'd see this place quiet for the right reasons," she said softly. I nodded. Quiet doesn't last, but accountability does. A week later, the courthouse was packed. Grace walked beside me, pale but steady. Alan sat near the front, hands clasped. Across the aisle, Marlene looked smaller than I'd ever seen her gray suit. Hollow eyes, no clipboard to hide behind. When the footage played on the screen, her stepping over our fence, shoving my wife, the entire room went silent. Even she couldn't look at it. The prosecutor asked Mrs. Gibbs, "Do you still claim this was fabricated?" Her voice cracked. It was a misunderstanding, a safety inspection gone wrong. Alan stood. "No," he said quietly. "She told me to delete the logs. I kept backups." The judge leaned forward, expression hard. "This court finds sufficient cause for full criminal indictment. Charges include obstruction, falsification of records, and assault." Murmurs filled the room. Grace's hand tightened around mine. As deputies escorted Marlene out, she turned toward me. No rage, no arrogance, just disbelief, like someone realizing too late that her rules no longer applied. I didn't feel triumph, just relief. Outside, reporters crowded the courthouse steps. I guided Grace through them carefully. Someone shouted, "Mr. Ward, what happens now?" I stopped, looked back, and said, "Now we rebuild." That's where I'll end it. Not with celebration, not with revenge, just the truth. Because in neighborhoods like ours, power isn't about titles or clipboards or fines. It's about the people who finally decide to stop being afraid. Peace only lasts when bullies are held accountable.